You have been told that sugar is the enemy, carbs are a bad thing. So what do? You cut it out completely and you think you are doing fine. Well, today we're going to talk about sugar, how much we have eaten sugar, the good, the bad, and is it really, truly as bad as people make it?
Doesn't like sugar, right?
I don't really care for sugar anymore. From a candy bar.
No. They've bastardized food so much, you don't even know if it's even real sugar.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because when I think about sugar, I instantly go to bad carbs,
Right.
the refined sugar stuff.
People even think sugar in fruit, sugar in what you call in juices, right? They think of sugar in starches,
Yep.
beans, and carbohydrates.
Yes.
Good, clean, complex carbohydrates.
Completely has been hijacked in what a carb truly is because it's the pastries, it's the cupcakes, it's the candy bars, it's the Tootsie Rolls, it's the fruit juices that are Minute Maids the world.
The sodas,
Yes.
right? The energy drinks, all those things. Everything, there's sugar in everything. In salad dressings, why would sugar be in salad dressings? It shouldn't be.
Exactly. So here I really want to dispel the myth. That kind of sugar is bad. Starches, whole grain sugars are good. The real carbs are good. That's because that's at the end of the day, that's what fuels your body. Your cells take glucose, not amino acids or fats per se, right? Primarily speaking, to produce the energy you need for your body to heal, have the energy, and thrive. So here's an interesting fact. In 1776, that's back in the days of like Ben Franklin and all those guys, right? Independence. Average person a year, 4 pounds of sugar, refined sugar, 4 pounds. In 2002, 120 pounds per year.
Oh my gosh.
That's 24 years ago. I couldn't find data on it now that was reliable, but I'm venturing to say that that's gone through the roof, even higher. I would say it's probably almost double.
Wow.
Don't hold me to that. In fact, if you find something, put it in the comments below and let us know that's reliable. I'm not talking about from the Institute of Sugar of Nashville or right. Some credible evidence there. And here's the thing. In 1997, here's what has happened with our food system. Even at Harvard, there's a study. Academics were paid to shift the blame from sugar to fat as all the health problems, which it has some logic to it, but the sugar, it's like an opioid. Actually, in your brain, like an opioid, a drug.
It is, and the bad sugars we're talking about here is a driver of a lot of diseases, including dementia, right? And including heart disease, fat is for heart disease too, but it drives so many different diseases when you gorge on those things. And sugar is hidden in so many things that you're eating and consuming that you don't even realize it's in there.
I think that's not so much the question on whether or not sugar is bad, but perhaps it's actually the food system itself that has done the bad.
Right. So it's in the energy drinks, it's in the chips, it's in the, not only the cookies, but it's in the salsa, it's in everything.
So here's kind of the conundrum with that study that I found is that they say fat's the problem. Cool, it is. All the empty caloric type of meals you have, the Twinkies, the energy drinks, that's all empty calories, which gets turned into fat. So essentially, you become fat. That is the problem. Yeah, the block cereals.
That's a big one.
There's no steady energy. It's always a peak and valley. And you wonder why you have no energy and you're crashing at 3 p.m. and you can't think, got the brain fog and you start getting overweight. All this stuff really adds up over time.
That's so true.
We know from your studies on Dr. Furman, being with Pam Popper, but we've done a lot of extensive studies when it comes to or not studies, but yes, our studies and looked at different studies. I even did some stuff. I read a paper on some sugar at one point in time as well. That sugar, that refined stuff, not good. However, it's very important that you do have sugars in the form of good, wholesome carbohydrates, right?
Yes.
So if we keep on eating sugars, I think you sort of said it all. It just turns to fat, health problems, peaks and valleys. Anything other issues that you can think of that?
Well, it leads to so many other health problems in your daily life. You don't even think about it, right? You take your eyesight for granted, right? Yeah. And if you have high sugar, that's a problem. If you're eating a high-fat diet, animal protein, and then you come and eat sugar on top of it, right?
Yeah.
You're making it even worse because so many people have a diabetic.
And that's the thing, dude. I think a lot of times they think diabetes is blood sugar, right? I think it's from the sugar.
But it's from the animal fat.
It's from the fat the fat deposits inside your cells, which allow you to be insulin resistant.
Right.
So that's a whole complete misnomer. So, let's not eat any kind of potato because of sugars.
Right, and then because the blood sugar this is sitting in the blood, so of course it's going to show that it's higher. But then, if you cut back on the animal protein, right, then you can consume the healthy fruits. You
Yes.
can consume the potatoes, and you would not be affected. We've seen it recently, right? Before,
Now, for 3 days, we got a comment.
yes, right. The
Eating
fat
beans and chickpea pastas and tofu.
and the blood sugar.
Yeah, my dad was here, and he was like, "Oh, whoa, my blood sugar never raised above 100 by the time I was staying here.
You know,
Last 3 days, he was staying somewhere else, eating what he normally eats, and it was,
Normally is always up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it goes to show that once you cut back the fat, right, then you can consume the healthy fruits and the carbohydrates, which, like you said, it's needed for the glucose in our body.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times, because when it's sugar, people think fruit's the problem.
They do.
That's not the problem. It's that 55 grams of sugar in that soda with no fiber.
And it's also the fat, right? So because when you eat the fruit, the whole fruit, I'm not talking about the fruit in a juicy pack that you give a baby to eat, or to drink, that all the fiber has been removed, right? And it's just like a saucy mess.
Yep.
I'm talking about whole pears, whole apples, fruits that's in season too, right? And we're not talking about the GMO stuff either. We're talking about real natural fruit,
whole-
real
yeah.
whole fruit that you eat. And when you eat in season, it is going to be sweet, which is how it's meant to be consumed.
Really sweet, really good. And then, like you said, the beautiful thing of that is that you get the sugars, but
You have the fiber behind
yeah.
it.
And you don't have to worry about the labels, trying to read the labels of 61 different ways they say sugar, right? Was kind of in the OSC for the most part. But like, all they do is hide the sugar from the sugar label.
Right.
It's weird. It's crazy.
Because they're dependent on you to not know what those names or labels mean,
That's right.
other than you're looking for the word sugar.
Looking for the sugar, yeah.
High fructose corn syrup, that's what you're looking for. But if they name it, put it under a different label,
They're like brown rice stuff.
syrup,
Yeah.
brown rice syrup, isotol, I don't know. I don't even know all the names.
And all the names. They're better off, like you said, whole fruits for sure.
Yes.
Let's talk about I did find another study too about starches though. With my father being here, we eat chickpea pasta, right? Which is, I think, really good. It tastes better than the stuff we get here in the United States. We didn't do anything special to the meal plan whatsoever. I mean, what's your whole thought process when it goes to the meal?
Try to make a balanced meal that has the carbohydrates and it has the fat and obviously the vegetables. Do vegetable heavy meals, and because I have teenagers, I make sure they have adequate protein. And when I was approaching that meal, I had to think what he would eat because you don't normally eat like this, right? And he's in our home, and I'm cooking, and I want you to eat something healthy because that's just how we eat around here.
Yeah.
Wanted to do something that he'd recognize, and one of them was pasta. So I did
Potatoes. I think they begin potatoes as well.
No, I didn't put potatoes.
Beans and
I did
rice.
beans and rice, and we had my family in town as well. So
Yeah.
I did the beans and rice because it's always a hit. I think everybody that comes to visit us,
Easy.
it's delicious, it's healthy, and it's a crowd pleaser. So I made the beans, the rice, and I had the guacamole and the broccoli and the salad on the table.
So that little unintentional study that we did, where he told you his blood sugar never went up 1,000, that completely jives over 3 days. The study I found was over 9 days, where the blood sugar decreased by changing simple sugars to starches by 53%.
Wow.
Yes.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah. Everybody else is lying.
It is possible, right? And it's not. And he didn't really consume any fruits, which I was a
he
little
didn't.
disappointed that he didn't.
Yeah.
I think if he had gotten fruits, he would have had a lot more energy, I think.
Yeah, he definitely would have. Fruits, starches, stay away from the box sugar stuff.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you think about it, like the hyperglycemia is a pathology, right? It's not just the sugar ingestion alone, right? So hyperglycemia, like you led to it a little bit about how it's the higher fat content
Right.
in the foods, which get, and I said it kind of into their cells, will make it hard for you to absorb the sugar the way it should be, leading to hyperglycemia,
Right.
which is high blood sugar.
Right. So even if you eat something healthy, they say, oh yeah, that's high in sugar and you'll have high blood sugar. Well, yeah, you're consuming a lot of fat and the healthy sugars can't get into the cells. Then yeah, it's stay in the blood system and your blood circulating around and it's going to sit there.
Yeah. Have you seen those social media? They'll say, okay, your soda can, and they give you the number of
Sugars.
teaspoons, whatever. It's like all sugar. Here's a can that big, and the sugar's like that much.
Yes.
Right?
The hill of sugar, yes.
Yeah. So you got to know that for every teaspoon of sugar, it's like 4.2 grams,
Right.
right? Which is a lot.
Yeah.
One teaspoon, and it got 55 grams in soda, I believe.
What are Starbucks?
Yes, and that's 12 teaspoons, 13, 14 teaspoons. They had the Frappuccinos. Hidden sugars, like it's so good, but you just don't realize what you're eating. Then you've got the box stuff and all the hidden sugars in that because it's either processed food is 3 ingredients: salt, fat,
Sugar, yeah. I have to make it palatable for you because I have to put all these preservatives in it so it'll look appealing to you. And all the nutrients are gone because they needed to last on the shelf. So
Yep.
it's not really, you would think it will preserve your body, but it's not.
Yeah. And here, what we see a lot is that the taste buds are poisoned from the sugar.
Yes.
The sugar poisons the body.
Right.
And because your taste buds and you're kind of addicted to the sugar, you're not in a good equilibrium state. And now you're not able to truly taste the full flavors of the fruits and vegetables and the spices, which are so amazing when you get to taste them. I remember I was like, wow, this is what kind of it tastes like. Or beets. So I used to hate beets growing up. I hated them because I used to eat so bad. Then she had some beets on the counter. So what's this a beet? I said, past memories were coming back to haunt me. The picture in my head, like, oh, gross. I put it in my salad. Most amazing flavor I've tasted for a long time. It was so good.
So with that, can you apply that logic and make lentil loaf?
Now, lentil loaf it's a more of a consistency issue for me. I like lentils, just not.
Tried.
Well, and yes, you know what? Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Though.
yeah,
Makes
I
sense.
used to hate meatloaf,
Yeah.
and have that connotation there.
Yeah, the texture, I get it. I get
texture
it. It's a
thing.
texture thing for you.
Yeah.
But right, taste buds have been poisoned based on how we eat. So if you eat a lot of fast food or processed foods, get the real deal.
Salt, sugar.
You're saying, oh my gosh, it's not salty enough.
Yep.
Or it's too hard because you've eaten something that was cooked to death, right? And then you don't get the nutrients. The nutrients are completely void.
Yeah.
And when you consume those products that has no nutrients, you don't feel good. You have nothing in you, so you have no energy. Your body cannot do the things it needs to do to keep you healthy, to heal you, right? So
You nailed it right there. I mean, that whole thing is it simple sugars? Yeah, they're bad. They're poisoning you. They're in everything. Good sugars, the wholesome carbohydrates are fantastic for you. They will heal you. They'll give you stable energy. They will provide longer lasting health, and you just feel better tasting food. So really it comes down to the end of the day is whether or not you're going to make the decision to say, hey, these extra 10, 20 years is that time I'm going to gain from eating more of a lower fat, high fiber, plant-based type of diet is more, it's worth more to me than a simple little greasy burger bite going down my chin because it tastes so good, thinking I'm feeling great.
also
It comes down to, that's why I think about it.
if you're in that camp, I don't like to cook. I don't know how to cook. I can't make it taste good. First, it's like you said, you got to retrain your taste buds. Number one, it shouldn't take that long. But also, there's so many recipes on the internet today.
Oh yeah, easy.
That you could eat is at your fingertips, and you just trial and error. You just like how you find a recipe that looks good to you, and you try it, and you make it. It's the same concept. You just go on the internet, look at cookbooks. You can go to the library and find a cookbook and look up different recipes if you don't want to do the internet. But the food, and we overcomplicate things and think it has to be saucy or rich. We're not eating like it's Thanksgiving every day.
Nope.
Right? So you can prepare something very simple, steaming, boiling, lightly baking, air frying. You can use those options to make your meals and take out that fatigue of having to cook and spend all this time over the stove.
Yep, totally, 100%. It's so good. And then I think a lot of times too, oh my God, it takes so much time to do that. No, it doesn't. In fact, you'll gain back time. I mean, I talk to so many people about, I don't have time to implement all this stuff. Not thinking about the time because they're sleeping, they're crashing, they're in a brain fog, not being present with their kids. laying in bed trying to fall asleep, all that time being wasted,
Going to
the doctor, all regained by simply adding an hours a week into you prepare food. That is it. You gotta cook it, but you gotta cook anyway. So it's not adding any time.
Yes.
So don't let that hold you back. Just make the decision, go all in, go with the right carbohydrates. It's not gonna harm you. Done so much research on it. You've done research on it, and we help so many people. We helped ourselves. It works, and that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Eat the good carbs.
Yes.
Boom.
There we
Go.
go. Anything else?
Nah, that should do it.
Until next time, be well.
All right. Take care.